Okay, if this question occurs, the instructions will be easier, but you're still going to be asked converge, diverge, quick explain. Right, so this guy here, the minus sign is irrelevant because E is about 2.7 and pi is about 3.1. So this is still just geometric. And then you can just say converges. Right, so in this case the choice is A. Here, this 1 over n diverges, but minus 1 over n, where this one toggles, conditionally converges. And so we're going to say conditional convergence because it's similar. Okay? And that will be F or E, depending on whether you're saying alternating series, conditional convergence only, or if you're saying comparison test to the alternating harmonic series. So let's see, the next one. Though the most important thing that's happening in the numerator is n squared, the most important thing in the denominator is n to the fourth, so it's like 1 over n squared converges. Okay, so let's see, that I think is D, comparison to a p-series. Alright, so now what do we do? The most important thing in the numerator is square root of n, the most important thing in the denominator is n, so it's kind of like 1 over n, it diverges, but minus 1 over square root of n converges, alternating series. Yeah, right, this is getting so sloppy, it's so late at night. Alternating series, okay. And so this would be like F. Right, now what? The last question, yeah, people had questions about this. So even though n squared is the most important thing in the numerator, 4 to the n is the most important thing in the denominator, because the natural log of n is really small compared to n squared, but n squared is really small compared to 4 to the n. So this just looks like 1 over infinity, or like 0 over infinity practically. And so this is just going to be 0. Okay, so I guess this is a z, or no? What do you call it? Comparison test? I don't know. See, it's kind of an obnoxious question, isn't it? I don't know. I guess you could say E comparison test because you're comparing to a p-series, but that's a separate option. No, it's comparison to geometric. Yeah. E, comparison, compare to 1 over 4 to the n somehow. Okay, last question. All right, so the trick here is 9 squared minus 1 is actually just 80, and 9 to the 2n is like 81 to the n. Okay, so that's the big trick. And so this whole thing is really 80 over 81 to the n. In other words, this whole piece really just boils down to some r, which is less than 1, to the n, and that's geometric. And this n plus 1, is it important? Well, you know, maybe it is. But the problem is it's competing with this geometric bit. It ends up that this is more like geometric, but we can use some kind of test. We could use this test where we do n plus 1, an plus 1 over an, and the limit as n goes to infinity, that test. So let's go ahead and do that one. And then that will be 80 to 81 to the n plus 1. Let's see, divide by this mess. And then this would flip this around, I guess, to the n. Okay, so you have most of them canceling out, except you're going to get n plus 2 over n plus 1 times 80 over 81. It doesn't seem like a big deal, right? Because like n plus 2, I want you to imagine 10 billion plus 2. And the denominator is 10 billion plus 1. So it's really going to look like 1. As n goes to infinity, this guy just isn't important. The 80 over 81, however, you can still see that. So the limit is like 80 over 81. And, okay, sorry about that. Okay, so the whole thing is, we're looking to see what R is in a supposed geometric. We're looking for the term-by-term multiplicative ratio. And so this n plus 2 over n plus 1 is not important compared to the fact that this is 80 over 81, which looks very close to 1, but it's not because it's a hair under 1, and it has a long-term cumulative effect. It takes care of all our problems. So it converges, and I would say comparison to geometric, just like above, compare to 80 over 81 to the n. I don't even know if that's what I put in the answer key, but anyway, that's, I'm sorry this is really sloppy. I'm doing this really quickly, but I think it's better than nothing, hopefully. All right, good night.